So, some shows that some of us. Okay, so all of these shows, one of us wasn't there. So the first. Okay, so
gonna fill each other in.
True to form on this podcast so far.
yeah,
Triage.
exactly. That's we consider just making that the format of the podcast, which is we just tell Eric about shows he missed.
Well, at some point though, we might just have to like abduct random strangers off the street. And be like, you're gonna come listen to us talk about shows, and you're gonna like it.
Yo, I'll just invite people. Yo, you want to be on the podcast? Like, oh, I don't know. What are you going to talk? No, man. You just got to come on so we can tell you about this show you weren't at.
Just invite people over and be like, oh, hey, what are you guys up to? Just put these headphones on.
Yeah,
talking to that mic.
Invite people over, and we'll just be recording when they get here.
right.
And be like, no, just put these on. Yo, so check this out. You want to hear about this show we went to?
Well, I was thinking like if there was a show that we all went to, we can't talk about it. But we already broke that with the Yacht Rock review.
Right, and that would be kind of antithetical to the podcast. Yeah. But
whatever, we were just getting in the groove.
Yeah. So the first one was Evergrey and Voyager came to New York before Prog Power,
which was awesome because then it saved me a trip.
Some people didn't have to go to Prog Power. Yeah, and it was a good show. I only saw like 5 minutes of the of one of the two opening bands.
What were they, like Oceans of Sadness?
Oceans of Slumber was the first one.
God,
right.
So boring.
I didn't hear them, but I like their name makes me think again. If I think it's going to be sleepy metal, I'm not into it.
There's way better sleepy music if you want to listen to sleepy music anyway.
I'm sure there is. I didn't hear him though, but though I did meet the singer at Prog Power randomly because we were both wearing Leprous shirts.
So
but I didn't find out
he's into cool music.
Well, it was
the
a chick.
correct.
Although I don't
shirt,
actually, I don't know if she's a singer. Maybe she's. I don't know. I assumed she was for some reason.
Because if it was the new album, I'd just be like,
oh yeah, the new one's terrible.
Yeah. Well,
my friend just got into Leprous, and I'm like, dude, just avoid the new album.
No, and it was like Colin was like saying, oh man, yeah, no, my wife, she was like, hey, can you put Leprous back on? And I'm like, yeah, that's not actually something you want to brag about there. And he's like, it's a start. I'm like, you're going down the wrong path.
Cool. The answer is yes, but then you put on coal.
Right. Then you put on
or bilateral.
Yeah, bilateral is awesome.
Pretty much coal.
Yeah. Yeah, but like everyone gets one. So.
It's one.
Let's hope
they already had one.
Yeah,
one.
They already had one.
The first one.
Which first one doesn't count. First album never counts.
Poppy syndrome. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Right, but it's early. You can hear that they just haven't.
Right, they haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah,
there's one good song.
Is that the Tonight I'm Passing Away one?
I can't remember.
But then they figured it out, and they didn't figure out anything else.
Yeah. Well, I think their whole approach to writing this one is completely responsible for the whole thing. Is that Einar wrote a lot of it on his laptop.
He wrote it in the box.
Right.
Which, like, again, to go back to music school, I could tell when people had written their stuff like in Finale, like with the playback.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, that's not how music works.
Yeah.
Things don't sound like that.
Yeah.
And all your parts are unidiomatic. And bizarrely unornamented.
Yeah. And they talked about that and how the dude's like, oh yeah, it was weird figuring out some of the guitar parts. It's like, yeah, and that's why the guitars rarely play more idiomatic guitar parts, which you probably want once in a while if you're sort of a metal band.
Right. And actually, so this is a good segue talking about Evergrey because Tom has said, he's like, well, yeah, I write all the songs at the piano, but he's also the guitar player, and there's like, because I've done a lot of this where like it's actually very helpful at times to write on an instrument that you're not very good at.
Yeah,
because then your muscle memory doesn't take over, and you don't just end up playing things that are easy necessarily, or like that are just under your fingers, as they say, right? Mm-hmm. But you still have to have. It's like when you're a composer, you write for orchestral instruments, like. Hindemith was the only guy who knew how to play every instrument in the orchestra, and his music sucked, so it doesn't even matter. But the idea is you don't play these instruments, but you understand how you're supposed to write for them.
Yeah.
Like that was the entire reason I went to grad school, was to learn how to orchestrate, because I wasn't very good at it. So yeah, that was just sort of the element that was missing from the new Leprous, it was not correctly orchestrated, as it were.
Yeah.
But Evergrey.
Evergrey.
Who also
show.
has recent albums that are not so great, but
Right, they had more than one.
Oh my
Yeah.
God,
And the
yeah.
new one's not very good. It just has one super awesome song, which is the first one.
Yeah.
Which also has a super yacht video.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
think
haven't seen it yet.
I think the new one. I mean, maybe I'm just saying it because of that one song. The overall sound of the album is better. So hopefully it's headed back in the right direction.
The production's better. The bad songs were bad in a way that it was just like, they were just subpar songs.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
they were kind of more typical to other albums that weren't that good. If you
Yeah.
didn't listen to them, it was kind of like, well, it sounds like Evergrey, but less good.
Just starting to all sound the same to me.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Right, and I think that's part of what happened. Is I think
I'm burned out.
you got to that point where if you force yourself to crank out an album, at a certain point, you're just gonna crank out the same general kind of thing.
Or you're Lou Reed and you crank out Metal Machine music, which is your finest work, and no one understands it. But it's not for everybody.
So how was the show? Like, what can we say about
the
it?
show, but
Let's go in order. So
Right.
who? Did
okay,
you,
so
you
I
heard
saw,
who?
I think it was Borealis. I saw like 5 minutes of them. They're all right.
This was at Webster Hall, by the way.
Yeah, to me, it was kind of like Evergrey light. Like I see why they fit with Evergrey. The guy's kind of got a melodic singer, kind of a little bit of the Tom Soli kind of thing, but not totally. He weirdly looked and a little bit sounded like Jack Black. Like
I hate Jack Black so much.
Yeah.
So that would be a major. I've seen them before though.
It was also just that he sort of looked like him too, and so I kind of expected him to start like doing Jack Blackisms, which he didn't. But it was but it was, and then the music
throwing stuff
was a little simpler. But if you like straightforward melodic metal, it's all right. And then Voyager,
yeah. So I showed up in time for them, and I'd seen them before Prog Power, like a few years ago, and I totally forgot their whole deal, because my impression of Voyager when I saw them originally was I was like, oh yeah, they have that one song that's okay, and so I was like, I'll watch their set, and their set was weird when I saw them, in part, so they're like a really happy metal band, but they're not like a power metal band where they're like, I don't know, waving a flag, and
they're just super upbeat guys. It's
they're
weird.
they're just Australians who are having a great time.
I saw them at Bay Area Rock Fest in like 2007.
Yeah,
and
same deal.
Same deal. It was so weird.
So yeah, and then there was two other weird things about their set. So the one weird thing was the dude, the lead singer, was wearing this jacket, but I don't mean like I don't mean
coat,
like
not
like
like
coat.
a blazer.
Right. It's like, think like like what Hillary Clinton would wear, right? So it was this Talbot's, and I know this because my mom has the same jacket. It's this Talbot's like business jacket. It's a woman's jacket.
How prominent were the shoulders on that jacket?
Very prominent.
Very prominent.
I remember the jacket.
Very prominent. He was wearing this jacket, and it wasn't just like a stage gear. Like he wore. We saw him later. He was still
He
wearing
wore
it.
it like the whole weekend, didn't he?
It was his jacket. So that was
Yeah.
weird. And then they played a medley. And I don't remember, like, the only thing that I really remember from the medley at Prog Power was there was some movie theme song, which I don't remember. And then the other movie,
Ghostbusters?
probably.
Because they did that one this time.
Right, they did that one this
actually
time.
do that, like the medleys.
Well, and then the
Every show.
and then the other part of the medley I remember, which was also a movie theme song, was Team America.
Yeah.
Okay, so then this time though, it was like the same. Do you? So there's the one part that
Right.
we remember, but what
Well, I mean, they also did one at Prog Power, which is a little different.
did it still have?
I think Prog Power, they basically put in all the parts that they maybe shuffle around in it because
they had more time.
they did Team America and they did Ghostbusters and they did, I think they did all the ones they did in New York, but a few more thrown in basically.
See, I just don't really remember what they did in New York.
I'm pretty sure the first at Prog Power, they did, I want to say they had Aha in there, like Take On Me or something.
really?
Because he has the
Yeah.
guitar
Oh, he has
and
the
stuff.
guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Right.
that.
And it was one of the bands that they got early on got compared to because they have this like metal plus like new wave kind of thing, and people a lot of times say Depeche Mode, partially because he's got a deeper voice.
They sound nothing like Depeche Mode.
Right. People mostly say that because the guy has like a deeper voice.
Aha is actually a good band. Also,
Aha is not only a more accurate comparison, but Aha is a fantastic band.
Yes.
At some point, I'm going to do an episode about how Aha is a much better band than you think they are. And if you don't believe me, go listen to Scoundrel Days. It's really badass. But yes, they didn't do the Aha song in The Thing this time.
Instead, they did.
Backstreet's Back.
God. Can we just like call a moratorium on medleys at metal shows, or really any show? Like they're never good.
I mean, if good musicians are doing them, I don't mind.
It's like going to see a Broadway show. It's like nostalgia.
Yeah, you know what?
Speaking of which, though, it reminds me. Oh fuck! This is the wrong episode. To flash back to the last episode, which may not even be released in order, where we talked about Pantera. At one point, Pantera randomly, the guitar player randomly played Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah.
But unlike a band that has like prepared a medley, it was kind of like everybody stopped and he played it, and then they went back to the song in the most sloppy fashion possible.
Right. It wasn't like Warrant at Heavy Montreal.
Maybe that's when the bass player's shit blew up.
So maybe they was like trying to fill some dead air.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they were playing the song and he started to play Cat Scratch Fever, and I was like, the Nuge? and then they went back to sort of playing Pantera.
At least it wasn't playing like a Kiss song or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, but that would have been more Pantera appropriate because
or Pam Salvation appropriate.
Dimebag has the stupid Ace, or had the stupid Ace Frehley tattoo, and like they loved Kiss.
We got to do a Kiss episode.
Well, I gotta throw a Kiss quote out there real quick. My friend Allison, the cookie lady, we'll give a shout out. It's Sky Daughter Epic Cookies. They're so Allison was like vegan and gluten-free before I knew that those were things. She's been in that a long time. They're some of the best cookies I've ever had, regardless of, they happen to also be organic, vegan, gluten-free cookies. They're super good. You can get them all around Seattle. If you're not in Seattle, she will ship them to you. It's totally worth it. She played in this band, Blue Collar. They're like a punk band.
Love the name.
Yeah. They were a fun band. They would play like crappy house parties and get turned up.
Awesome.
I remember one time they played this house show in Seattle, like this place not too far from University of Washington, UW. And then the next time I walked past that property, a few weeks later, it like had been condemned.
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth. So anyway, Allison once said, she goes, Kiss is the band that I used to make me feel better about my terrible band.
That's great.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, so Voyager, medleys. No, but I agree with Eric. Like there have been medleys that are less terrible than other medleys.
Yeah.
But I've never once been like, yeah, that was the best thing they could have done right now. Like you could almost always do something that's not a medley, and that would be better. You
could play the song that nobody likes off the new album, and that's better than playing a medley.
Sometimes it's there have been times where bands have done medleys where they're basically like, okay, we know you want to hear these 5 sort of like popular songs, but we don't want to play them, so let's play like 30 seconds of each of them.
You play the chorus.
You could play the recording on an answering machine song from your album and take a walk off the stage and come back, and that would be better. Like the Voices to God kind of thing.
No, that was the worst thing ever.
I don't remotely agree with that. There's no way that's better than playing songs.
I hate medleys, man.
Like, at least you're actually playing music, though. You can't say it's better than not playing.
If we're talking about just like filling time for the
band that should have played samples that didn't at their show, we will talk about that later. Yeah. So stay tuned.
All right.
The best sample
so,
band.
what else happened with Evergrey and Voyager?
So Evergrey, not in the spirit of the show, but I've seen them a bunch of times. And so In Search of Truth.
Yeah, you've gone to Prog Power.
Yeah.
Of course you've seen Evergrey a bunch of times.
In Search of Truth, despite the fact that the lyrics are incomprehensibly hilarious at times because first of all the album is about like alien abduction. Like he was listening to Art Bell. If you don't know what Art Bell is,
totally.
It's like this
Coast to
AM
coast
radio show
Who's,
that's on in the middle of the night.
Who's back on the air, by the way? Artbell.com. Dark Matters.
Because George Norrie, I think, has his show now.
Yeah, George Norrie took over, and then they gave a different show to the other guy who took over for a while.
Yeah.
But he's back with it. He was on Sirius. In case you didn't notice, I listened to Art Bell. He was okay. So
in case you didn't know, Art Bell's still alive.
Yes,
That's what I'm surprised about.
And
I did not know.
He did like 6 months at SiriusXM. I got a SiriusXM account, and then he left because of issues with them and the way they did their advertising and stuff. And it took me like another 6 months to get that account canceled. So I'm never using SiriusXM again. But
shout out to
SiriusXM, and you can go fuck yourselves. But
that's our other beef that's going to start.
Right. Until they like make us unless they like make us an offer to be on. That'll be the whole thing. All the time they'll be like, if you can't beat them, buy them out, and be like, oh man, they got us to compromise and give us a paycheck.
Hey, if you work at Sirius and you wanna rectify this situation, you should send us an email. What's that address?
At hatemail@yourmusicisbad.com.
That's right.
And or make us an offer. We've got a rapidly growing audience of upwards of 40 people.
Wow, I thought it was like 8.
No,
I
actually,
it was more than that. Actually, after the Prog Bar conversation.
Well, okay, so we
literally
transparency,
radical transparency.
The episode after Prog Power was a very big. There's a big download spike. That day, I think partially because I met a bunch of people at Prog Power and was like, "Yeah, check out my podcast." And some of them were like, "Oh, I think I've heard of that." I'm like, "No, you definitely haven't."
Like, that's cool.
But I'm not gonna like spend a lot of time correcting you. You should just listen to it anyway. But but it was like at least the main thing is that the new episode I believe got at least like 39-40 within the first like 24 hours. So I'm making up a number of like repeat listeners based on that, but it's probably not far off. From
also, I think we probably count for 3 listens.
Yes. Right.
So
right.
Like
well, and again, I'm already scaling down from like, I mean, the growth in downloads is very positive.
The trends are positive.
It probably won't stay at that exact like percentage.
If these trends continue, sales of disco records in 1976 were up 3,000%. If these trends continue,
yeah.
No, okay, so anyway, so the point was so they have this album that has hilariously bad lyrics about alien abduction, but
is briv as fuck.
But it's not just that they're bad, it's also that he'll like use English wrong, which you wouldn't expect because if you talk to these guys, they're Swedish, so they speak fluent English. But then they'll say there's this one line on there where it's basically about he's supposed to be saying like he feels like somebody's watching him all the time. Yeah. When he says it's the feeling of never being lonely, which you're like I think that's normally that would be like a good thing. Like people don't want to feel lonely. Like so anyway, that album, despite having the weird lyrics about a dumb subject, is one of the best metal albums of all time. Yeah. It is amazing.
Well, and I'd argue that even if it's dumb, the material like fits the music to some degree.
Right,
you know what I mean?
It's
for music, like if that's the style of music, if you're gonna write about alien abductions,
right? It's correct. So every Evergrey album is a mystery, essentially. That's what, that's their themes. They're all mysteries. But the point is, so they played a show at Prog Power a couple of years ago where they played that album start to finish, and it was awesome. And then they played that set, and then they were like, we have time. We want to try and play Blinded, and they did, and it was great. But this show, this was actually probably the best set list I've ever seen from them because they played. So on the new album, there's one good song. They played the one good song, and then they played one other song from the album that's like okay, and then they played all the hits. They just cranked it out. It was It was awesome. The set list was awesome, and they sounded awesome, and the old guitar player is back. He sounded awesome. I mean, they just killed it. It was one of the best shows. Killer. Yeah.
It was really a show.
And they played my single favorite Bad English song, not the band Bad English, but their misinterpretation of English, which is so they actually have an entire album, And what the album is supposed to be, it's supposed to be like recreating an event, like a tragic event, okay? But the way they've said it and the way they pronounce it is Recreation Day.
Yeah.
So what it's supposed to be like recreating a traumatic event, but instead it sounds like leisure time.
Lounge music.
Yeah.
And it's and there's
And
even
again,
songs
that's my
with the
favorite
title
there.
track.
Right. So the recurring theme is not only are these like the wrong translation, but they're pretty much the opposite.
The exact opposite.
So it's like
right, it's not just wrong. It's the 360, 180.
It's the sensation of never being lonely, or it's my every morning is in every way the beginning of a recreation day, which sounds terrific.
But you need to make one point because people who have not read the lyric sheet don't know. It's morning, like with a U.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think you and Jamie were talking about like how bands should have English.
An editor.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I kind of want to do a whole episode at some point on this, only we'd have to dig up a lot. I mean, there's a lot of European metal
all
that would
have
be
to do
easy.
is listen to Memory
Garden. I was going to bring.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the best. Any excuse to talk about Memory Garden.
Yeah. Well, we'll do that. We'll do that episode, and we'll remind everyone about the Evergrey ones because
that
they're
band is
the
just-
best.
And then we could just
So
we could
awesome.
just play Manowar and be like, no, that's actually what they intended.
yeah.
Those are the Manowar and like Thor. We were basically the same band.
Yeah. So in Atlanta at Prog Power, I saw Wednesday was the same Evergrey and Voyager show, plus, I mean, different openers who I didn't see anyway. But Evergrey pretty much played the same set plus a couple songs, including Mark of the Triangle, which is great because that's when we were yelling from the play in New York.
Right. I wanted to hear that song.
Yeah. I remember at one point you yelled it and it was loud enough that like a chunk of the crowd turned around like, who said that? And then they didn't play it. But
It was like the guy wearing business attire. The guy with the expensive shoes.
yeah. But it was still awesome. And, and they did they do Recreation Day in New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I texted someone
Right,
about
yeah, you
it.
just said it,
I was
yeah.
like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
They're playing Recreation Day.
They did because they realized that like Recreation Day is totally their most yacht song. And it's actually super smooth.
So smooth.
And again, if you change the meaning, it's like pretty cool.
song
and,
ever.
like,
It's not change the
Right.
meaning. It's if you
Sorry,
take it
if you
at face
reinterpret it,
value.
right.
If you take it at face value.
exactly.
There's no effort required.
Right. But yeah, I want to do a yacht cover of Recreation Day.
Dude, it'll be so
which
smooth.
will be so smooth.
It'll complement our metal.
And then the
cover
video-
of-
we'll just do a
of
video.
Hall and Oates portable radio.
Right,
Turn
right.
up the power.
Turn up the power. And then we'll do a video where it's just like chilling on a boat and sipping mojitos. And it's like, my every morning is in every way the beginning of a recreation day.
Pretty smooth.
Recreation. And then the backing vocals sing recreation. It sounds super enjoyable. And yeah. But there wasn't much else to say about and then I talked about that show and the opening bands of the Thursday night one on the live from Prog Power 2 weeks ago episode that may have been posted before this, but I don't know because I haven't
But
decided
it's not
yet.
out at the time.
But it's not out at the time that we're
it.
recording
so
it.
Eric and I haven't heard it.
Right. But you know, part of the fun is releasing them out of order so that
Confuse the
they
masses.
chronologically don't make sense to people. Right.
Control by confusion, confused by control.
The only band from Wednesday and Thursday night shows that I didn't get to mention because after we recorded, so Thursday night in Atlanta, me and Kyle and Rod, we saw the first couple bands of the Thursday night lineup, which I don't care.
Was Rod wearing a Protest the Hero shirt?
No.
Whoa.
No.
Mind blown.
He has like specific.
I don't believe you, actually.
Well, no, because
I need to go on
he
Facebook.
has like specific. I don't know if he has one for Thursday, but he has like a specific like Friday night and Saturday.
That's
night
how he knows.
shirt
That's
for
how he knows
Prog
what
Power.
day it is.
No offense to Rod. Rod, you're an awesome
Yeah.
dude. I know you listen to this
You're
podcast.
one of the coolest
He
bands.
is-
You coolest dudes at Prog Power.
He's our
By far.
self-proclaimed biggest fan, and he's probably right. Actually, no, I'm sorry. He's definitely right because no one else has even attempted
No.
to be like, I am a fan.
No,
it's just been like,
there's some flight attendants who are all
well,
about this.
yeah,
Who are all about this show.
which we appreciate, by the way. Please continue to spread the word to other flight attendants.
Or, everywhere, because
right. But I'm saying
you travel.
But I'm a big fan of the idea of us having a large flight attendant.
If you want to play it over the plane intercom, like you can do that. There's no licensing required.
You just need to post flyers in Kew Gardens, and you'll get all the flight attendants, man. That's where they all live.
We know Crew Gardens. Shout out to Crew Gardens.
Nice. So Prog Power. So Thursday night though, we went back to the hotel because we didn't care about Armored Saint or Saxon.
I don't blame you.
But we finished in time to. Kyle and I were like, well, I paid for the ticket to this show. There was re-entry, so let's go back, catch the end of Saxon. So we did. But the thing is, we made it back like right at the end, and like as I'm walking in, I hear the music, and like just as I open the doors, I hear what is essentially the last note of their set. I walk in, I hear, and I'm like, oh, that sounded all right. That was pretty cool. Like they sound pretty good. I mean, I could tell by like their outfits and stuff, like why people say they're one of the big inspirations for Spinal Tap, which is another reason like I got to see these guys, right? Like, do they have like a tiny Stonehenge, So I went like, oh, that sounded pretty good. I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more of that. That's pretty cool. And then they got up front and they bowed and it was over. But the thing is, I was like,
they didn't play an encore.
That was the encore, right? That was the
encore.
last note. And I was like, I really wouldn't mind hearing more. And you know what they say? Leave them wanting more, and they really did. I was like, that was a pretty good note. I definitely could have stayed to hear more Saxon.
Like at least 3 more notes.
Right. So the rest of the night, so I like left the venue, and the rest of the night I was just like, yes, fucking Saxon, woo! Like, and people were like, yeah, man, they were awesome. I'm like, yeah, dude. I mean, they really left me wanting more. Now the only problem with that is if I had like heard an entire song, I might not have wanted to hear more. So they really ended it right for me.
I've seen Saxon. I saw Saxon in Sauget, Illinois, probably, I don't know, over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And it did not leave me wanting more. I was like, yeah, that was plenty Saxon.
Yeah.
They had it down. They had their thing down.
Oh, yeah.
They were solid, but it was kind of like, I mean, I don't really like Iron Maiden. So that address again.
Hate mail at yourmusicisbad.com.
Iron Maiden's fine. If you want to put it on Iron Maiden, it's fine. But I've never once been like, I really want to listen to Iron Maiden right now. And Saxon is kind of like second-rate Iron Maiden. So it's just like, whatever.
Yeah. I don't think that's that unusual. I mean, I know tons of people who love Iron Maiden and don't listen to their albums. It's just like, the song. It's a great song. Well, okay, I heard it.
I love Iron Maiden, but I also think that almost every album of theirs has like filler songs and is inconsistent. And I think as a band, I think they're one of the few metal bands that like across the world people are just like, look at them, and I'm like, I'm okay with that. Like, I'm fully okay with your insane devotion to them. I don't think they're an overrated band, but I also don't think every song on most albums. I think there's at least 2 songs I don't like on like every album.
But there's not like a single Iron Maiden song that I love. There's not a single Iron Maiden album I love. There's not a single Iron Maiden song.
That's cool.
I'm just like, they're like, okay, like I would much rather listen to Judas Priest.
Yes.
That's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I always listen to more Maiden than Priest. But
You know what's fun?
Sorry, man.
I have to go on a tangent right here.
I don't know why you keep apologizing for things. They're not things you need to apologize for, or that I ever care. Like, there's a reason I listen to less Judas Priest than Iron Maiden.
So we just talked about Pantera. It was on a different episode, but we just did it. Spoiler alert: we do these things. We double up. I just watched the Pantera home videos again because someone hadn't seen them, and I was like, it's imperative that you see these records of white trash.
Oh yeah.
And there's a part where I think it's the second one where it's a kind of a supercut of, oh man, all these people came on stage and played with us. And there's this one where it's Rob Halford, but the thing is, they only show like a few seconds of each song. I think they're playing Grinder.
Really?
I'm like, yes. There's nothing more appropriate than this right now. Anyway, I just had to point that out.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. So the actual Prog Power show, I I was not able to do a like full recap episode before coming back. So this is still mostly gonna be the highlights. There's a lot of bands I didn't see much of, or at all.
Probably a wise choice.
So okay, let me get to basically the shit I actually want to talk about. So Native Construct is a Berkeley band, which is interesting because I actually checked them out before the show because they made such a big deal about how we booked a prog band, like when somebody dropped out and they replaced them, and people also to me were like, yeah, but it's a prog band. I'm like, yeah, but you say that, but when someone from Prog Power is saying that they booked a prog band means very little to me. But these guys are actually pretty good. They went to Berkeley. Their bio though was
is it bad?
Well,
and should they feel bad?
Yeah, the bio. Yeah, well, the point is like trying too hard to tell me how badass you are. Basically, like they made a real big point. They make a point to tell you that they went to Berkeley, and so every note on this album is meticulously composed, and you may hear something chaotic, but it was completely on purpose.
It's artisanal music,
right? The problem is then when I see you,
like old music all was.
And when I think you're doing something stupid, I'm going to be like, oh, so this is completely on purpose is what you're saying. But they were pretty good. But the thing is, so it was like 3 dudes. And then I guess like they got the offer to play and were smart enough to say yes. And then they recruited a second guitar player and drummer. Their drummer was pretty awesome because apparently he learned everything in like a couple weeks and he was dead on.
Well, it was meticulously composed because they already had this stuff written down. They just
Right.
gave him the chart.
Right.
He went to Berkeley, he knows how to read a chart.
Right. And
Yeah.
and they had already, programmed the drums on the album or whatever.
Right.
So, but still, that means
Right,
he's a
which means
competent
they
drummer.
definitely had to write it down.
Right.
Shout outs to Superior 2.0.
Yeah. I love Superior.
Everyone does.
Right, exactly, which is the problem. But but the interesting thing was, they're definitely one of those bands that like has a lot of potential, and they were easily the most interesting thing musically of the weekend. But there's still room to grow. Clearly, the vocalist was really good, but I kept feeling like I get it, dude. You went to school for vocals, like. Now, it's said in their bio that, like, we draw influences from, all kinds of crazy stuff you would never imagine, like musical theater. And I'm like, look, dude, that you're not the first metal band to be like, can you imagine we're influenced by musical theater? And it's also never really been a particularly good thing to hear about a metal band.
Always awful.
And in this case, it was the worst version of it because there was a point where I was like, I'm trying to remember if you said you were into musical theater because I can definitely tell you were from this part of music. And there was some weird call and response shit where he had like the other dudes respond, but it was probably really like tracks.
Was he at least a good singer?
He was.
That's
he was
a
a
shame,
good singer.
actually.
Right. No, that was the thing. Most of the time I was like,
lots
these
of
guys
people
have
who are
potential.
good at stuff like crappy stuff.
No, I just
Yeah.
mean like there's so few good singers in metal, and to waste a good singer at a metal show on music theater is like
Whatever.
Right.
They just got to rein it in.
Right, exactly. They just got to rein it in, and they definitely. This is their first album. It sounds like they just got out of Berkeley, which if they actually graduated, I'm sorry.
Well,
And
everybody graduates now because it used to be you went and you met somebody and you got a gig and you left.
But now
because now
there's
you're a
no-
working musician. But
Right.
now there are no gigs, so
Right.
everybody
So
graduates.
everybody graduates. Gotcha. Yeah. So, and you started a prog band.
Because you're married to the idea of never making money.
Right. So
You're never getting a gig. So
let me see if I can find their
we're
deal in
prog
here. But the interesting thing was, so like, there was plenty of stuff on their backing tracks, right? And the laptop was like on a chair in front of the drum riser. So the singer kept going to like, hit the.
they didn't have like a stagehand.
Well, I don't know if they had like. I only saw him go over to the thing once or twice, so I don't know if he actually had to keep track of it, or maybe the drummer had somebody had a trigger to like,
they have a keyboard
start the
player?
next track. No.
So
This
that
is
would
the
normally
biggest
be their
problem.
job.
The biggest problem with their set is that within their music, it was one of these things where like you tell me you went to school and you're all into composition, but you're writing something that's metal, but then you just give the guitars like the chuggy parts or like none of the really, really cool, interesting sounding parts were necessarily like on the guitar, or any of the instruments that were present. So there's a lot of interesting stuff that I'm like, that sounds kind of interesting, but nobody's playing it. Like, so way too much interesting stuff is happening in the backing track, which again, if you only have 3 guys and you're trying to write an album, like that might happen.
Yeah, but you also shouldn't be booked to play festivals.
Right.
Because the other thing is...
fault.
Right. No, because he was like,
right. No blaming them. If you called me up to play a fest and I was like, man, either I can play this fest and get paid and people can find out about my band or not.
It's also...
then, yeah, I'm going to use a backing track
It's
if I
also
have to, but
literally the best way to complete the lineup of a metal band is we're playing a festival. Do you want to be in this band? As opposed to, do you want to be in this band? No.
No.
Do you want to be in a prog band? No. Do you want to be in a prog band that has a gig? Oh, well, I mean, and it pays. Prog power pays.
Yeah, no. But the thing is though, like I've seen other bands that I really liked, and like so the best example is Darkane. I saw Darkane, and they didn't have a keyboard player, and so they had a backing track, and it sucked all the life out of their set because then you have to play to a click.
Right. They had to play to a click.
Yeah, and that sucks.
Yeah. Well, and again,
one of the worst shows I've seen. I love that band.
Yeah.
It's so fucking annoying.
I mean,
that was the show I found out that Speed Strid from Soilwork can't sing.
I mean, you had to go to a show to find that out?
Well, no, he can growl.
Yeah.
But his clean vocals are
But I mean, he's been
so
singing
bad.
on stuff for a while now, and even then.
This
was that the
this
band
was a
that-
long time ago.
That was with like Swallow the Sun and
No. This was
different.
This was Darkane and Soilwork. This
Just
was
them two?
at like not like Terminal 5, but one of those venues on the
Yeah, I think
west
there were
side.
like 4 bands on that show.
Yeah, but none of
Like all the
other
dudes
ones
from
were,
Hung.
None of the other ones were good.
Yeah. Back when Hung was still a thing.
Havung.
And here. Yeah.
I'm still repping Havung. I have 2 Havung shirts and a vest. Shout out to Kella Custom Rockwear for making me a Havung vest.
So when the party came around, Rod and I, the dudes from Native Construct were there, and we were like, should we go ask him if we can meet the laptop? Like, and then be all like, oh my God, you guys are so good. I got to ask you though. So were you running like Pro Tools or like Reaper? Like, what were you running for the, can we meet, how much RAM does it have? Just ask them all these excited questions about the laptop. And
I'm actually sad that you didn't. That would have been great.
Well,
You could
Rod,
have taken it up a notch and be like, will the laptop sign my GPG key?
Rod's all about great ideas at the party, but then the next day he's sober and like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do that. But because he wanted to like do that and then see if he could actually get a picture with it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
See, I want to do those ideas even when I'm sober. So
Cool. Well, then you should go to some shit.
Midnight
Then you should actually
thing.
go to a festival once in a while.
I used to.
Yeah. Well, start.
The
going down.
lineup stopped being good.
Right. But now there's a podcast that means that I have to go to them. The worse the lineup gets, the more reason I have to go to a festival now.
If you want to
How
give me a
convenient.
festival budget
Really dangerous.
for the podcast, you know.
Well,
It's a labor of love, Eric.
Yeah, I know.
no, I really would like to make money. That's part of the
Yeah, I have a
the
job.
eventual plan. So,
Sirius
cool.
XM, you know, if you need a show,
yeah. If you want us to stop talking smack about you, Sirius XM, so we're on to you.
we could talk
We
smack
know your
about
shit.
literally everyone else.
Matt's like, I'm literally for sale, and this is in no way like blackmail or
No,
We book on the air.
unless
radical transparency.
yeah, radical transparency. So Native Construct was pretty cool.
Also, why I don't use my real name.
Who else was on here?
I know who's not cool. They're on the back cover of that program you're holding.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
That was a-
before we
Well,
say
again,
who
hold on.
this
That's
band
the
is-
wrong day. It's the wrong.
Okay.
No,
We're
hold
not
on.
even
Let me
on
go in.
that
Let me get in
day
order. We're not on that day
All
yet.
right, all right.
Relax.
Just give me a heads up
Relax.
before we do that.
All right.
So I can.
So I'm just gonna go through based on. Okay. So well, Hibria wasn't there. They canceled at the last minute, but that's visa stuff. No fault of the festival. Native Construct. Jeff Scott Soto I didn't see because I've heard Jeff Scott Soto before and I don't care. But a lot of women a bit older than me were very excited about that.
a bit.
A bit. Voyager, again, same pretty. Oh, okay. So here's the thing with Voyager. So the Thursday night show, excuse me. The Thursday night. Okay, so both of their sets at Prog Power were fan chosen. The Friday night show, 100% chosen by the fans, which, as you may remember from when Pain and Salvation did that, is not always the best approach. Or at the very least, don't let them choose the order of the songs, because that was when they opened with like Undertow or whatever.
Yeah, because they pulled the songs out of a cowbell.
Yeah.
And at no point when they were like, "Oh, this isn't going to work," were they like, "Maybe we should draw again, or just order
them however you want." Like they're still picked by the fans. Like
I thought it was picked like on the forum or something, which is a way worse idea.
No, they pulled people voted online, and then they pulled the results out of a cowbell.
Like they narrowed it based on the votes.
It's the voted online part that's bad.
Well, the people voted for good songs because this was when Pain of Salvation totally ruled, and you really couldn't vote for bad songs.
It was hard to fuck it up with Pain of Salvation.
Every song they had on the first 4 albums was amazing.
Right. It was hard. It's hard to fuck it up with Pain of Salvation, except by the order, which they did.
They found a way.
It's
hard to fuck it up. They found a way.
But Voyager, here's the thing that happened with Voyager. So the Thursday night show, in order to make that special, they said, we'll let the fans pick an album and we'll play the entire album. So they picked I Am the Revolution, which is probably my least favorite of their albums. And I don't listen to them that regularly, but it's the one with, never mind. So
the only Voyager song I really know is the one where they made that video where it looked like they were in some sort of like Matrix projection.
That's on that album. That's Lost. That's the song on that album, which is a decent song.
One Voyager song,
but it's the one song on that album that I didn't get into that album. So they played all of that album on Thursday. So at some point I went and got dinner and then came back and they were still playing. And then on Friday, where the fans picked the set list, they played the fan pick set list, but like 3 or 4 of the songs were off that album. So I just heard them and I don't need to hear them again. But other than that, Voyager was awesome. It didn't really matter. So this is good. So after Voyager was Falconer.
I've seen this band.
This is their last performance.
This was their last performance ever. And my guess is also their first in a while, is what it seemed like. Is like they were like basically called out of like unintentional retirement. And we're like, well, yeah, let's say it's our one last show so we don't have to do this again. But my first issue with Falconer is I got the...
That they're terrible? That their music is unlistenable?
No, that is not my biggest problem with Falconer. It's that I have a picture. I may have to scan this and upload it for people to see. But no one... They're wearing fancy, like, medieval-looking stuff. Nobody in these pictures is dressed appropriately for falconry. In any way. And then on stage, they weren't even dressed like the Ren Fair. They just wore like nice shirts with like a tie, and the guy had like a tie and a vest. It was like they went like hipster, like they like stole Leprous's old clothes.
Look, no one can do worse than Seventh Wonder, where it was like they dressed like the copy machine servicing guy.
Yeah,
they were all like
they sounded like the copy machine.
Well, no, all wear dark pants and white shirt.
That's
like,
the thing.
Like we work in an office. You know what would be really cool for our show is if we showed up looking like we work in an office. That would really mix things up.
Yeah,
because they probably do, because their band is fucking terrible.
Yeah, well, I hope they have day jobs for their sake.
Yeah,
because,
right. Well, their singer does, but it's in another band. So Falconer, though, the thing is, their stage outfits were fine for like any random band who wants to look kind of dressed up, but not for a band that's playing like D&D, like medieval, like Ren Fair metal, which is what it sounded like. Literally sounded like, they wanted that like intentional medieval like sound in everything, and
they're bad.
Yeah, and then the other thing was that I stopped by to basically check out like maybe 2-3 songs of Falconer, right? Just to see what's up. I get there and they're playing, some generic like 80s metal sounding song. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And then they finish and they're like, all right, so we're going to get out our acoustic guitars. And I'm like, no,
please don't.
No, don't take it down a notch. Like I get there and they're taking it down a notch. I'm like, damn it. They bring out chairs and sit down and they play, again, like they're trying to write like troubadour like songs or some shit. But then I'm like, okay, fine. They'll play like 1 or 2 acoustic. And they're like, we've got about, someone I know tipped me off that they had 3 of them on the set list. And I was like, I can't. And I was trying to wait through to get to like one more heavy song. By the third one, which sounded exactly the same as the first 2, I couldn't take it. And I was like, nope, I can't do any more of this shit. I'm getting the fuck out of here. No more Falconer for me.
So it wasn't so much a show as an audition for medieval times.
Yeah, pretty much.
They should just call Russ Allen.
Yeah.
Which they could probably get paid
more money
on a regular basis for.
Can we talk about how Seventh Wonder sucks? a little more?
Well, let me talk
Not
about
on this
Let me
episode.
talk about Falconer some more.
Because their logo, by the way, if anyone hasn't seen it, if you turn it to the side,
Right. No, save it. We'll do a Seventh Wonder episode. There's enough.
Let me talk about Falconer, because my Falconer experience was worse than yours.
Yeah.
So back when Brave Words was a festival, right, it's the 6-pack. So Candlemass played, and this was like Candlemass with Messiah. Hadn't played a show in the U.S. in like 13 years or something crazy. So we drove from Boston to Cleveland, of all places. And the second day of the fest, Candlemass is closing it out. So we showed up before, the thing opened. They opened the doors. I walk in. I walk straight front row center onto the rail. Okay. I didn't like eat or drink anything so that I wouldn't have to like get up and leave my spot. So I'm on the rail. We didn't really sleep because you go to a metal fest and you party and stuff, right? I was determined to be front row center for Candlemass. And I think the last 3 bands, so Candlemass was last, and then before them was Trouble, and before them was Falconer. And during Falconer, I couldn't take it. And I didn't know what to do. And what ended up happening was I ended up sleeping standing up on the rail. Yeah, and that like kind of got me through it, but it was a close call. It was bad. It was they were really bad. And this was, and like you're saying, like they sounded like they hadn't played a show in a while. They were probably, like this I can't even imagine, because this was let's see, I was in undergrad. This was like 13 years ago.
Yeah.
This was a long time ago. And even then it was unbearable. So yeah, I also I don't remember, they weren't wearing frilly outfits like that. They were wearing actually more appropriate to falconry. They looked like when you watch the whatever like D&D movie, and there's the guy like the thief, right? So he has the leather pants, and then he has the white like blousey shirt, and then the leather vest. Yeah, I feel like that's what they were wearing.
Okay, yeah, that seems a little more reasonable.
A little more falcon, right? No giant mitts.
So it doesn't matter because they're apparently retired now. But here's what I came up with. This is what I think they should do. Regardless of what they're wearing, this would take care of the falconry issue completely. So the main guy
get mauled by large birds.
No. The main guy just needs to have the falconer, like the gauntlet, right, that you wear. Yeah. And here's the thing. They know what it is. It's like part of their logo. There's like a big banner, and on both sides of it, there's like a hand with a bird on it. And I'm like, you know what falconry is. Don't put in your name and then just like show up like you're not participating in any falconry. But if the guy just wears the glove and then
smell the glove,
and then they sample a falcon's cry, which why is that not already? Is that on their albums? I don't know. I've never listened to it.
Samples from Ladyhawk.
Or from Stephen Colbert.
Yeah, right. So you play the random Falcon samples, and then you make references to the Falcon so that people think like that shit's flying around somewhere. It's like, stay on your toes.
It might gouge your eye out.
Right. So I feel like, because I was super sleepy and bored by their music, but I feel like if I was constantly afraid of a falcon attack, I might really just stay on my toes and pay attention.
You're like, it finds the souls of the untrue.
And then every time you hear the cry, you're like, oh shit.
Wakes you up.
Right.
It would have woken me from my slumber.
Exactly. So if they ever decide to come out of retirement, that's your new stage.
Or if we ever decide to form a Falconer tribute band.
Be like, you know what? We do one thing the Falconer never did. We properly represent the attire for falconry.
We're Falconer 2.0.
How was Anathema? Because I expected that to be like a crapshoot.
I mean,
well, it depends on what they played. Did they play sleepy stuff or did they play metal?
No, they only play sleepy stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you like their sleepy stuff, then you'd be thrilled. But
I like their sleepy stuff like at home.
Right. Alone. Okay. So here's what I did. I like a week before Prog Power,
not headlining a fest
doing
on
my minimal research. I put on some YouTube concert. I think it's from like a DVD they have. So I just put this on. It was pretty good. It was almost identical to what happened at Prog Power. And yeah, it's sort of sleepy, like progressive rock, super, super like weepy and emotional. And if you're into that, then I thought they were pretty good. it's not really something I would listen to regularly. But the thing is, I think because their stuff is so straightforward compared to a lot of it, like I very quickly recognized like 3 songs from the YouTube video I had watched once.
Yeah.
So I was super like, oh yeah, I know this one. Like, it's that really weepy emotional one. And that's why after the show, at some point I was like, I got this Anathema song stuck in my head. Which one is it? It's like the super weepy emotional one. Like which one?
I'm sensing a trend for the bands that played this year. Kind of just sleepy.
Well, I mean,
the big one's coming up, and we're gonna,
right,
Wicked Nap
right. Okay, so that was actually Anathema was the headliner on Friday. So, and that was all I was going to say about them. Like honestly, if you like them, they were super good. But if you don't, then you wouldn't like them, and they might put you to sleep.